Well, no one wants to hear a long speech, so I'm just going to jump right to the question.
You were short on specifics. Have you really got a plan that cuts $881 million at this time?
Well, I don't think we've got all 880 million, but we've got a majority of it. We haven't finalized our last few decisions. We're still working with the legislature, and I know they also haven't got a 100% completed plan for 880 million. And we're still in that time frame of working through the decision process.
The speaker called your speech full of gimmicks and gimmickry and said you blew an opportunity to really describe the problem for people. Do you want to respond to that?
No, I don't want to respond to that. I think he can call it whatever he wants, and I'm not going to stoop to third grade level discussions. I thought our speech was right on point with the message we wanted to address to the Nevada citizens, and you can say whatever you'd like.
The cuts that, the operating cuts was about $418 million that you guys released. If you believe government is bloated, why not cut all 881 from the operating budget?
You obviously have never studied the budget of the state of Nevada, have you?
I've looked at it, yeah.
No, you haven't.
You
can't
believe
do
it's
that. You can't look at that. And I'm not going to sit here and argue when you haven't looked at it thoroughly enough to understand where you get that. Here, I could turn to Andrew, who can answer the question about why cut it all from the operating side of it. You would take every program, 54% of which is education, and throw it out the window. That would be typical of what you would do. It's not what we would do.
Then what makes this budget bloated?
I never said it was.
It's in your speech, that word is.
That's bloated for past state budgets.
Governor, in regard to education, you said it's time to cut some of these programs that are no longer working. What programs specifically are you referring to?
Well, when you look at 142 schools out of 613 that are on the worst in the nation list, some of those education programs that are mandated from Carson City are not working for our children. When our children are last or near last in education performance, some of the education programs mandated by Carson City are not working. It's time to change. And also, when you really think about it, this is not the first time the state has been through a crisis like this. It's neither the time to start searching to all four corners of the earth for answers. It's time to have leadership. Winston Churchill once said to the people of England, "Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of money. We must now think." Well, we in Nevada are out of money. We're going to have to think how we're going to get our way, work our way through this crisis and rebuild Nevada as we have in the past over every recession or depression we've ever experienced.
Do you really think you can get the legislature to take up this education reform package that you've got when really it's going to be a giant fight just to get the budget through?
Yes, because it's part of giving the flexibility to school districts, counties, and cities, which are also suffering from the same economic problems. They need that flexibility in order to deal with their budget problems. We need to give them that flexibility.
Are you still proposing a 10% reduction
Yes,
across the board, education, higher ed, 10%?
that's our initial proposal. We're still on that 10% proposal.
Are there any revenue enhancers in here of any kind? Any places to get a little more cash?
Not that I recall.
What about mining? I thought there was some kind of...
We are discussing with mining, but we have not made that final yet as to the proposal, nor the total amount that mining is willing to come in with.
Some legislators I speak with say they're not looking at tax rates, but they are looking at the potential for increasing fees. Is that the same in your eyes as a tax hike? And would you support any budget that came to you that had any kind of a fee increase?
Well, you remember 1996, I hope. 1996, I passed the Gibbons Tax Restraint Initiative that says no new taxes or fees. Fees are taxes.
Does your recycling plan include a fee?
Well, of course.
So that's a new
Garbage,
tax.
collecting garbage today is a fee.
Would you be proposing a new fee for recycling and collecting garbage?
We're working through that. We haven't figured out what the exact amount will be, or if there is a requirement for a fee. So I'm looking at creating new jobs. I'm looking at bringing new industry here. The last thing you want is to tax them or to put barriers in front of them that forces them to choose another state.
Could money be raised from that for the state budget? Immediately?
No.
Governor, I didn't hear you mention vouchers tonight. It's part of your education plan. Is that
Yes.
something you want the legislature to take up as well?
I do. I believe that we need to give the choice of education back to parents to get them involved. If we have 142 schools in the state of Nevada that are rated as the worst schools in the nation, we need to give the parents of those children the choice to choose an education forum which provides them with that type of an education they expect this state to give them. So I believe that vouchers give that choice to parents.
How does that help
Give
the
that
budget?
future to the children.
How does that help the budget?
How does it help the budget?
Or
Well, first of all, it doesn't require that child to be in a public school system. And if we keep 25% of the per capita education formula in the school system, those funds will go to assist with counties that have problems, school districts that have problems, but not require the county to pay for the education of that child.
Doesn't that break the Nevada plan?
No.
Expose us to law?
No, it doesn't. Nevada plan is based on equal education for all children.
do you envision a big public support for the teacher gift certificates at your DMV or online?
You know, I'm hoping that we do. I think it's a great way to show the generosity of the people of Nevada. The education gift certificate is a way that we can voluntarily allow for teachers to get a higher salary through the generosity of the public of Nevada. And I've encouraged people, if they're capable of helping, let them do it with one of these gift certificates.
Would that be taxable income for teachers?
Well, it's going to go to a 501c3, which is a non-taxable. I'm viewing it without being a tax attorney, without being someone who has run the concept past the Internal Revenue Service yet, as hopefully being a tax-deductible donation.
So are we getting to the point where we're going to be doing that with our firefighters and our police officers, you know, adopt a cop or adopt a firefighter? You know, isn't that government's job? Basic education,
You know, that's not
public
my
safety?
job. I did not propose that.
Are you envisioning a one-day special session or longer?
You know, I think it's going to be longer.